Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Canon EOS R and the 85 f1.8. Let's do it! So, welcome back guys. Today I'm going to be talking to you about this combo that I traveled to Las Vegas with. It's the EOS R and the 85 f1.8. It's a pretty, I'm not going to say affordable combo. Just because the camera itself is like $2,300. You gotta get the adapter, which is an extra $100, and then the lens is about $300. But in general, this lens here is probably one of the most affordable lenses that's gonna give you a decent professional shot. So if that sounds good to you, continue watching and I'll go through and talk a little bit more about the details. So I only had one night to go out to shoot. I was so tired. I was hired to go out there to do video, and I was on my feet from like 6 a.m. to like 7-8 p.m. every day. So by the end of the night, I just wanted to grab a quick bite and go to sleep. But on the last night, I forced myself to go out and I took this camera here with this lens, and let's go ahead and check out some of the photos that I took with this setup. The first image I want to show you is of Bailey's. This was shot at f1.8 ISO 500. It's of the sign. If you zoom in, you can see that it's got pretty good details. Even at ISO 500, you're gonna start seeing some noise, but the detail, it looks really good. It looks pretty sharp. Let's go to the next image. Oh, look at this cute little doggy. Let's zoom in and you can see that it's pretty damn sharp around the face, around the eyes where it needs to be. And at f2.2, you're getting quite a bit of blur around the background, so maybe I should have pushed it up to 2.8 so I can get a little bit more of the body in focus. But all in all, cute little doggy, wouldn't you say? Okay, so this image, I pushed it pretty far in post. So just if I was to reset it, this was how it came out of camera. But in post, you can push it a little bit far. You can get a little bit more detail out of it. It was shot at f2.2. So, but as you can see, because I pushed it a little bit far in post, there's quite a bit of noise. I feel like the lens did pretty well. Here's another image of the Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas. If you zoom in, you're gonna get to see some pretty cool detail of the actual Eiffel Tower. I mean, that looks pretty good out of the 85 in my opinion. Okay, this is of Caesar's Palace, the Forum Shop. It's one of my favorite places to just go during the day just because it's a cool place to walk around. There's a lot of cool places to take photos inside. Let's zoom in. Oh yeah. So you can see there's I feel like there's quite a lot of detail. Next. So this is of the fountains that sits in front of the Venetian. You can see some people in the front. I was focused right here in the middle here on the face. Let's zoom in, and I feel like it's done a pretty good job. I mean, the background is out of blur. It's f1.8. It's ISO 3200 though, so there's going to be quite a bit of noise in this, as you can probably see in here. There's quite a bit of noise, but in general, I'm pretty happy with this image as well. So in the next image, I decided to step in a little bit further and do a landscape of this section in the center of the statues. And I feel like with this lens, you can actually get some pretty cool detail. I know I pushed the ISO a little bit high on this, so that's why there's a lot of noise. But as you can see, there's still a ton of detail in the actual image. And I feel like this lens, for the price tag, it does a pretty good job if you need to go out at night and do some night photography. So this is one of my favorite images of the night. I actually got this as I was walking towards the Wynn. It's a long walk from the Bellagio, guys, but it was well worth it. This is probably my favorite image of the night. I just like how it's laid out. I don't think I could have got this with a wider lens. I think so I thought the 85 on here was a good choice. And all in all, super satisfied. This is probably the one keeper image that I'll probably show. Okay, so after this point, I actually went into the Wynn. Let's check them out. So this is of a dress that's behind a window. If you zoom in, you can see some pretty cool ooh, what's that? You can see some pretty cool detail, even of the bag. You can see it's Prada. Still a lot of noise. The one issue I really have with this lens is the fact that when you zoom in, you're going to see a lot of purples around the edges. And I think that's just because this is an old lens, and over time Canon has made better changes to the lens coating that reduces a lot of these. But in the older lenses, you will start to notice that there are quite a bit of purple along the edges of these images. If you're not doing print, or if you're not going to zoom in and crop, I don't think it's a big issue. If you're taking photos for social media, I think this is a great lens. But if you're going to print, yeah, you might want to aim for a little bit higher lens. Okay, so this is one of the signs. Actually, if you zoom in, you can actually see there's quite a lot of detail, sharp lines. So this, I believe this lens is really capable of taking great images if you take the time to learn it and get to know its capabilities. Okay, so this was shot through a plane of glass. If you zoom in, I think I missed the focus. I think I tried to get that, but I'm more like over the side. You can see this back side in focus, but the front of it is out of focus. So for something like this, I probably should have stopped down to maybe 2.4, 2.8, so I can get the front to the back in focus. Definitely missed the focus on that. See how this bit's out of focus and this front bit's out of focus? I back focused quite a bit on this one, so my bad. Okay, this is probably the coolest thing you'll ever see, ever, is of a crystal skull. This was inside the wind around a shopping area, so I thought it was really cool. I did push this image quite heavily in post. If I go into my develop module and show you what I actually did, let's go back to reset. So this is what it looked like straight out of the camera. I pushed pretty much highlights all the way down to bring back a lot of the blown out details. I pushed the shadows quite far down, just so I can hide some of the stuff that's kind of bright. I put the whites down, I made the blacks a little bit darker, and I put clarity all the way up. So I did push this up a stop, and I maxed out contrast. So I did push this quite a fair bit, but I feel like even though I pushed it quite a fair bit, if I zoom in 2:1, you can see there's a ton of noise. Even if I reset this, you can still see all the little colors that's being introduced into the lens, just because of the fact that it's it's a pretty old lens. But in general, if you're just looking at it like that, I mean, that in my opinion is a pretty sweet image. And even if you go black and white, ooh, yeah, look at those diamonds, look at how shiny, how bright that is. And the last image of the night was of Boys to Men, one of the greatest R&B groups ever. So I was leaving, I was heading back to the Bellagio, and stopped by here and I saw Boys to Men. Woo! So with this one, you can see that I shot at f2, ISO 3200 and 3/20th of a second. So they were my images from Vegas. So in this next section, I'm going to talk to you guys about the video. The biggest hurdle you're going to have to overcome with this setup is the autofocus. The autofocus it's kind of slow, it's loud, so it's something that you're going to have to get used to. If you need audio, I would highly suggest not using this lens. But if you're good at manual focus, you can probably get away with it. So before I go any further, let's go ahead and show you some B-roll. all you have is $300 and you need a pretty decent portrait lens, this 85 is hard to beat. At f1.8 you're gonna get a pretty good bokeh. It does photos pretty well. The autofocus is pretty slow, so that's gonna be something you need to consider. It's pretty loud as well, so if you're doing video and if you just got a mic on top, I would suggest no, because let me show you. So it's pretty loud. If you want to save $100, $200, go to Nifty 50. It's they have a newer STM version which came out like a couple of years back, which has got a better focusing system. Also, when you actually add on the adapter and a lens hood, it's actually a pretty big setup. And if I compare it to something like the 24-105, it's about the same size, same height with the lens hood on. So it's not as small and compact as let's say if you didn't have the adapter, which is way smaller, right? It adds that much extra. But if you're going out and you've got this lens in your bag, I feel like you're gonna get some pretty cool shots. Look out, like when you're going out on the streets, look out for detail, look out for stuff that's interesting that's not too close to you. Don't walk past something like on the street and go, ooh, I'm gonna get a photo, because it's gonna be way too close. But like, think about stuff that's on the other side of the street basically. If you're gonna take this out to a night market or something, I would say look at something that's on the other side. So if you're standing on one side of the night market, see what's on the other side, vertically across from you. Don't look at what's next to you or what's next to that. This is just way too close for that. So if you just want to use this camera for personal reasons, like to take portraits of your family, to go around traveling and get some photos like that, this is a good lens for that. It's cheap, it's affordable, you're gonna get nice bokeh, you're gonna get pretty decent low light, but you gotta know its limits, right? You gotta go, if you're gonna go outside at night and take photos, you need to put your subject in pretty good light, or so don't think just because it's an f1.8 you're gonna get great photos anywhere at nighttime. That's not how it works. I'm planning a trip in a couple months to Japan, and as you guys mostly know, I usually take a zoom lens, which is this baby here, and a fast prime. Sadly, this 85 is gonna stay home. I do have another lens in mind that I'm gonna take. Stay tuned for what I'm taking to Japan video. It's not gonna be the 85, but I think you might be surprised with what I take. So that's it for now. If you guys like this video, smash that subscribe button below, click the like button, leave a comment if you got a question about the 85, the EOS R. I'll do my best to answer them. And until next time guys, go out, create, do cool things. See ya.